If you are a complete beginner to Ayurvedic hair care, one of the easiest ways to get started is with an infused oil. Now, I say this for four main reasons. One, you don't have to make a brand new batch every time you want to do your hair. You basically have to spend 15, maybe 30 minutes of time to get weeks to months of use. Second, it's really easy to incorporate into your routine, especially because most of us are probably already used to using oils in some sort of fashion in our routines already. 3, both your scalp and your hair strands can benefit from one single product. And 4, it has the highest potential to give you amazing results in terms of longer, healthier hair growth. I would even go as far as to say that an infused oil is all you need to experience the magic of Ayurvedic hair care. Now, when you're just getting started, try to keep your recipes as simple as possible. I know that a lot of recipes online are using 12 plus ingredients, even 20 or more, but you really don't need that much to get results. For example, I would only start with 1 to 3 oils and leaning towards the ones that I already have in the kitchen, like coconut oil, olive oil, or avocado oil. Coconut oil is really great for normal to high porosity hair because it absorbs into the hair strands and protects it from protein loss, which can occur from shampooing. Furthermore, it prevents too much water from absorbing into the hair. And this is important because when the hair strand swells from too much water, it can cause the cuticle to lift off and break the seal that protects the inner layers of the hair, which makes your hair more prone to dryness and thus breakage. And olive oil and avocado oil are really beneficial if you use henna or you plan to use henna because they're really effective at preventing and treating dryness that can occur from those treatments. Olive oil is my favorite because I enjoy that thicker consistency, but avocado oil is also amazing if you prefer something a bit thinner and lightweight. However, if you don't like these oils for whatever reason and you don't plan on doing any henna treatments, then any other carrier oil that makes your hair feel really good and that you can get at an affordable price will work just fine. Now you want your herbs. And this is where a lot of beginners can get a little overwhelmed because there's a lot of herbs on this planet and there's a lot of information. And every few months, there's going to be a new trending ingredient online with claims that it can help your hair growth. If you are stepping into Ayurveda, I want you to keep in mind that any influencer, any content creator, any brand that sells natural products are trying to stay relevant and to keep on top of trends. And so anytime there is even a little bit of buzz about a natural product, we are all going to try to jump on that to increase views and sales. This happened with coconut oil. This happens with shebe. This happened with rice water. This happened with black seed oil. And now this is happening with rosemary oil. And I'm not saying that this is with bad faith, nor am I saying that you shouldn't try these ingredients, but I think it's important to ask yourself whether or not you actually need it. Because if you already have a solid base of herbs, which I will try to help build for you guys, that you are already getting good results from, you may find that adding additional ingredients and products isn't actually going to give you much return. And personally, after doing this for like 5 or 6 years now, I always fall back on the same set of herbs. And when it comes to hair oil, there's really only 4 herbs that I really use anymore. And that is henna, amla, brahmi, and fenugreek. In my opinion, these are going to give you the best results of any herb out there. And when you're just starting, you don't need to use all 4 of them. You can start with just 2 of these herbs and slowly build your way up from there. But do keep in mind that these 3 herbs may darken the hair strands and are best suited for people with brown to black hair. If you have brown to more of a lighter blonde hair, I recommend using fenugreek powder and using cassia instead of henna. Once you have your ingredients, you want to combine them into a large jar with about 20 to 24 ounces of oil with about 1 to 2 tablespoons of each herb. And then you want to close that up and store it in a cool, dry, dark place for a couple of weeks. And then every few days, you can take that jar out and mix everything around with a spoon. Don't shake the jar because the oxygen can make the oil go rancid a lot faster. And don't store your jar in the sunlight because that will also make the oil go rancid faster, and that's not what you want. Now, there's three main ways to use your oil, the first of them being as a scalp treatment. Personally, I like to apply a thin layer all over my scalp and gently massage it in anytime that my hair is braided, which is usually a few times a week. And I'm always asked, how often do you want to do these treatments? And it really depends on what your schedule allows. You don't want to be giving yourself more work than you can handle or sacrifice a perfect wash and go in the name of scalp care. Of course, the more often the better. It would be ideal to do it every single day, but don't stress yourself out with it because people have experienced great results doing it just a few times a week. Another way to use this is as a hot oil treatment before you shampoo your hair. And I personally find that the added herbs makes your hair feel a lot softer as compared to just the pure oil. And finally, you can use the oil to protect and seal your ends anytime that you are styling your hair or touching it up. So, like I said earlier, an infused oil is really easy to use, but it's not necessarily for everyone. If you have certain scalp or skin conditions like acne or dandruff, an infused oil may cause your symptoms to worsen, so that's something to be mindful about. Or if you have gray or white hair, a lot of these herbs may cause your hair to turn a bit yellow or a bit golden over time. Even cassia, while it doesn't turn your hair red or orange like henna does, can over time cause your hair to be a bit yellow. Finally, if you are suffering from hair loss, please keep in mind that DIY recipes are not legitimate treatments for hair loss. Sure, herbs can support a healthy scalp, but hair loss can be caused from so many different things. It can be genetic, it can be an autoimmune disorder, it can be hormonal, it can be vitamin deficiencies. If you have access to a dermatologist, please see them first to find out what's going on before you try any of these recipes because they may not help you. But with that said, here is a video talking about the most common types of hair loss in women, so make sure to check that out next.